Oh yeah, try to play nice so I won't give you heartache. Trust me, baby, when I say, girl, you better walk away. Oh yeah. If you try to come closer, I'ma give you some closure. Before you know it, it's over. So run away, run away. I'm not trying to hurt you, but I will if I have to. I'ma tell you what I do.
Something
run
scary.
Away, run away. Baby, I'm a fighter, never backing down. Baby, I'm a soldier, standing my ground. So if you're gonna find me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a tiger, 20 steps ahead. Baby, I'm a viper, one bite to dead. So if you're gonna fight me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a fighter, never backing down. Baby, I'm a soldier, standing my ground. So if you're gonna fight me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a tiger, 20 steps ahead. Baby, I'm a viper, one bite to dead. So if you're gonna fight me,
I saw. I played a cut with my homies. Dressed.
Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Good morning. How is everybody today? Good morning, my lovelies. My lovely Roberters. Hope you guys are all doing well today. We have some new news in the Kylen and Crystal murder case in Moab. So let's hope that this is the first step in them being able to close this case. So it is hump day today. I missed you guys yesterday. I didn't stream yesterday. But for today, we are going to go over this Moab case, and then I'm going to be back at 1 Eastern to do an Only in Florida show. So that event is up, so you can click the reminder. But when this stream ends, it will take you straight to that event so that you can hit that reminder. Carrie, good morning. Look at Carrie. Carrie has been a member for 2 months already. I promise I won't laugh at you though, Carrie. I promise. Yes, under your scars, I hope so too. Good morning. Happy hump day. Look at the camel. That's cute. All right, let me get this pulled up and we're going to go over all the details that we have so far in this case. So let's take a little trip back in time to August of 2021. And this will kind of be our little refresher into what happened to Crystal Turner and Kylen Schulte in Moab, Utah.
And all of a sudden I had such a sense of urgency.
Hunter eventually found their campsite on Wednesday and was on the phone with Kylen's father as she searched the area.
And then I saw her body and I turned away, and I think something inside me just didn't want to acknowledge what I had seen. And so I was looking at the beauty of the creek and everything, and I'm talking to the father the whole time. And I turned around again to make myself look to see, and it was her.
A news release states, at this time, the Grand County Sheriff's Office is conducting an ongoing homicide investigation.
That is absolutely heartbreaking. So that is a friend of Kylen and Crystal, and she went out. They were searching because they hadn't heard from the girls. And she was the one that came upon the scene. She saw Kylen and she ran to get help. But yeah, clearly distraught, changed for life.
Adding, the Grand County Sheriff's Office believes there is no current danger to the public in the Grand County area.
How are we safe if you have a double homicide? You don't have a suspect in custody. You're not claiming that it's a murder-suicide. So how are we possibly safe? And it honestly feels like they're just trying to protect the tourism industry in Moab.
Hunter rejects the idea that this was a murder-suicide.
They were murdered. They were shot. Neither one of them deserved this. They were good people. They were wonderful people. And I loved them. And my heart is broken and I'm struggling. I don't know how to navigate through this.
You can find the link to a GoFundMe page for Schultz's family on our website, ABC4.
Let's see if that GoFundMe still exists, and then we can maybe share that. Let's see. So just as a reminder, this is the bar that they were at on Friday the 13th of August. And this was the last time they were seen. It was at Woody's Tavern, and that's where they had the surveillance footage of them there. And again, that was Cindy Sue Hunter. I'm sorry, I forgot her name, but a longtime friend of Schulte. So she says I just found out there was a creeper dude that they were scared of, that they needed to move their camp. Okay, so they were seen on August 13th at around 9:30 p.m. at the Woody's Tavern. And a post on the tavern's Facebook page says that these two women were very much in love with each other, and their focus and attention were always on each other. And despite the reports the women had been followed out, they said no one followed them out the door. And then the post went on to criticize how investigators were handling the investigation. So you be the judge when we go through this right now on if you think they handled it correctly. Okay? So the first thing, let's first do this. So this is from Friday, September 10th. So this is after Cindy made her remarks that, you know, she didn't feel that they were investigating this properly. And she felt unsafe knowing there was a murderer on the loose and that she felt like they were sweeping it under the rug due to the tourism in the area. So then the editor of a Utah newspaper issued an apology for how he reported on the case. And you have to pay to read that. So we're not reading it, but I just wanted to let you guys know that there was criticism going on, not just with law enforcement, apparently in the reporting as well. So moving forward to the latest. An unnerving man was questioned after unsolved Utah double homicide. Behaved with combination of euphoria and that he'd been caught doing something wrong. So, newly released court documents as of yesterday reportedly confirmed that law enforcement authorities in Utah examined a potential lead in the brutal murders of married couple Crystal Turner, 38, and Kylen Schulte, 24. But it's unclear what the authorities are doing with some of the information they gathered. The two women were found brutally murdered at a campsite in August. Their bodies had been dumped into an irrigation ditch just west of their campsites. I did not know that. I did not know that they were dumped. I thought they were just found at their campsite.
Creep town, dude.
Authorities determined that the victims likely died on August 14th after both sustained multiple gunshot wounds to the back. How they could ever say it was a murder-suicide, how do both of you get shot in the back? Just curious how that would work. According to the latest reporting, a search warrant unsealed February 18th states that investigators spoke to the couple's friends and learned that Schulte had told several people about a creepy man she claimed had been skulking around their campsite and a nearby town. One of Schulte's friends reportedly went so far as to tell investigators that Schulte said if something happened to them, they were murdered. On August 17th, one day before the women's bodies were discovered, this is where you get into the suspect. Excuse me. On August 17th, one day before they were discovered, a deputy with the Grand County Sheriff's Office performed a traffic stop on a 27-year-old man who KSTU reported is a possible suspect in the double homicide. The man reportedly had a Utah driver's license and was driving a car with Ohio license plates. The man's name has not been reported because he is not currently charged with any crime, and authorities have not officially named him a suspect. According to a search warrant, the deputy was so worried by his interaction with the driver that he could no longer focus on issuing him a speeding ticket. The driver was so unnerving that the veteran law enforcement officer decided not to write the speeding ticket, as he did not want to take his eyes off him. The warrant stated. The deputy reportedly wrote that the driver had acted oddly for being pulled over for speeding and described the man's behavior as almost a combination of euphoria and that he'd been caught doing something wrong. After Schulte and Turner were found dead, police obtained and executed a search warrant on the man's vehicle and questioned him at the Moonflower Market, where he worked. Salt Lake City NBC affiliate KSL TV reported. He reportedly only started working at the market on August 16th. They were found on the 18th, right? Schulte reportedly also worked at the Moonflower. The man reportedly said he'd interacted with Schulte at the market as a customer, but they had not worked together.
Creepy.
Investigators asked whether the man murdered Schulte and Turner, and he reportedly responded that he had not. Police reportedly wrote, however, that the man's demeanor was similar to people that I have had interactions with who had untreated mental health issues. Investigators also noted that the man stared vacantly at the person talking to him. Stop. No. Get off her. Get off her. It's okay. You behave. Behave yourself. Investigators asked if the man murdered Schulte and Turner, and he reportedly responded that he had not. Police reportedly wrote, however, that the man's demeanor was similar to people that I've had interactions with who had untreated mental health issues. Investigators also noted the man stared vacantly at the person talking to him, answered in non-committal ways, and rambled when asked about Schulte. The man was asked if all the interactions with Schulte were good. The man stated that depending on the day, the interactions had with other people could be good or bad, depending on people's feelings. The warrant reportedly stated, I asked how he would react to being rejected or scorned. The man again rambled, but essentially stated that he would just experience it. He reportedly could not account for his whereabouts on the evenings of August 18th, 19th, or 20th, but he said he slept in an outdoor spot that was, quote, away from people, and provided police with the location. Authorities searched the spot and reportedly found 2 blankets and a jacket with a substance that appeared to be blood on it. Per KSL, Turner and Schulte would have had to pass by this spot on their way to their own campsite. In light of the man's odd behavior and failure, hey, stop. Stop. Come here, Bill. Come here, Belle. Come here, Belle. You leave her alone. Naughty. In light of the man's odd behavior and failure to account for his whereabouts, authorities reportedly wrote that investigators should, quote, explore this avenue of inquiry. Several witnesses reportedly told police that they had seen the man around town sleeping in his car. One woman reportedly said she had recently asked the man to leave her place of business because he makes unwanted advances towards women and makes them feel uneasy. It is not clear why the warrant was unsealed on February the 18th, but KSL reported it, quote, may mean that police are no longer investigating the man listed. A second search warrant, unsealed on Tuesday, said that investigators requested information from AT&T regarding a specific phone number belonging to one of the victims. As only one cell phone has been recovered, we are currently searching for another phone that was known to be possessed by one or both victims. The information stored by the service provider carrier of this number could provide information about the whereabouts of the phone, as well as other information that may lead to a suspect. As recently as January, the Grand County Sheriff's Office responded to online conjecture and made clear that Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie had no connection to the Turner-Schulte double homicide during the summer of 2021. Petito and Laundrie were in Moab on August the 12th, and it was there that the couple had a suspected domestic incident. And it was there that the couple had a suspected domestic incident. I wasn't aware that that incident was still suspected. I thought that was truly a domestic incident that ended with the cops asking the couple to separate for an evening. In the course of this investigation, there has been considerable conjecture that Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie were somehow involved in the double homicide. Whoever said Gabby was involved in a double homicide? The sheriff's office wrote in a press release which provided updates into the killings of Schulte and Turner. Upon investigation, the FBI and Florida investigators have determined, based on electronic transmission evidence, that neither Petito nor Laundrie were involved in this case.
Okay!
Petito was found strangled to death in Wyoming in September. Laundrie was found dead in October in what was ruled a suicide. What do you guys think? Let me come back to chat. So they're saying in one breath, like, oh, they may have cleared this guy and that's why they released this information. But why are they throwing Gabby in there as like, oh, we've cleared Gabby and Brian? Maybe that's just protocol. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to watch some of the investigator professional YouTubers and see what their take on this is. And they'll be reporting on it because this is something that we have been waiting to hear more about. Dr. Sherry, who are you wanting to highlight?
Creepy.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked, but I don't know if that's really why they released it, because this guy has been cleared. I'm not sure. But the fact that he has been a suspect since August, clearly if they had blood on a jacket and they could match it to these two, they would have done so between August and now, right? But Scott, hey, Scott, I think it does. It is the creepy coworker, I think, Baby D, the same one we heard about before. So, you're funny, Dr. Sherry. I think they have to, yes, I think the Gabby and Brian thing is just because they were together, they ruled them both out. I think it's just like a protocol. But Scott Skull says, and let's see if I can highlight chat. Supposedly I got a pop-up and there's a new thing on YouTube where you're supposed to be able to pin. You could always pin comments. I don't understand why that's supposedly new, but let me open it up and see here if I can do that. But Scott Skull says they were killed on the 14th, but this guy didn't work the Moonflower till days later. So this guy doesn't make sense. See, I disagree. And I only disagree with that because, hold on, let me see if I can pin this. It's supposed to look different when you pin it, but I don't think it does. It's still just pinning it the same. Anyways, at any rate, I don't think that matters because I think if he was hanging around, I think he was hanging around before the 16th because they were obviously like creeped out. Because what day were they at that bar? They were at the bar. Hang on. We need to put a timeline together of this case now that we have a little more to go on. They were at the bar on the 13th, 9:30 p.m. And then they were killed, they think, on the 14th. So they left there at 9:30 and then the next day they're killed. And they were both found with their pants down. But they're saying that they were not, there was no evidence of a sexual assault. I think that, yes, Bella Dia, I think that, yes, August 13th, they were at the bar. Then August 14th, they were killed. He started working there after. But because he may have wanted to hear what was being said about their murders to kind of be in the loop. You did, Potato. Potato, you're the best.
Roberta.
Prof. Kate. Oh, you're talking to Jen. I thought it said Jay. Okay, so do we have fact of that, though, that Brian was talking to Kylen on the 11th? So let's put a poll in chat. And interesting, this guy is 27. So do we know where these two are originally from? Because I'm not sure. Yeah, same with me, Potato. I was into it as well. But there was no movement. So I was really surprised to see this. Jay, check email. Oh, I know, Cher. Hey, Cher. She's been saying all along, Brian Laundrie's alive. I don't think he is, but okay. So let's see. Do you believe? Hey, Lizzie. Okay, hang on. Let me check my email before. The thing that is weird to me about this story is that they were like almost trying to CYA a little bit. I don't know if I'm reading into it wrong, but the way that they said here, where is it? that they pulled him over on August the 17th. So that was after the girls were already killed. But then they weren't found until the next day. So apparently they knew where this guy was staying, because after they were found dead, right here it says police obtained and executed a search warrant on his vehicle and questioned him at the Moonflower. So if they pulled him over, though, on the 17th, he was just starting the Moonflower. He had only been there one day. Yes, Dr. Melmo, the girls were dragged down to an irrigation ditch. And, you know, they've already been put on the spot for the way they handled the call and the traffic stop with Gabby. They've already, you know, had some fumbles in this case. And, I mean, it does kind of sound like a CYA. Okay, let me check my email. Hold on. I don't have any new emails. J is for justice at Gmail. I've got nothing. So anytime, if you guys want to send an email and you want the email, all you have to do, you guys can do this yourselves, is the exclamation point and then put email and send it in chat and it will pull up the email. Same goes for the phone number. It's exclamation point text. So if you're ever wondering, what's Jay's email? Just put exclamation point email. So I think that it sounds like there's a good chance this guy could become a suspect, but what's the holdup? That's what I don't understand. So does anyone know where Kylen is from? I saw that you guys said Crystal was from Arkansas. But is Kylen from Ohio? Because this guy that they pulled over is from Ohio. And no, Brian did not work at the Moonflower. Look in junk mail. Yeah, I've got nothing. I got nothing in spam. I have nothing from anyone since last night. I don't have anything, so you can resend it if you want. I don't know how to read your name. Lanny Kim. I can't read the text on that on my screen. It's kind of blurry, but you know who you are, Lonnie Kim, if I'm saying that right.
Roberta.
I think it was Brian and poor beautiful Gabby dead because she saw him in the act of murdering these two women. Ann Lane says dental records can be faked. Brian's relative is a dentist. Many believe Brian has escaped. That is a rumor. The dentist is not his uncle. That has been ruled out. Thanks, Damien. You're making me blush.
We planted flowers on the side of the house.
Kylen lived with her dad before moving to Utah. Right, but what state? Do we know what state she was born and raised in? Hi, Janelle. Sandy, I think Brian had a 9mm on the trip. There was a picture of Gabby playing with one. Are you guys asking what kind of gun they were killed with? Let's see if we can find that. If you guys are just joining, we got an update in the Crystal Turner and Kylen Schulte murder case that they did question someone back in August when the girls were found. Someone that they had pulled over prior to knowing that these girls were murdered. Okay, let's see what this says here. So they're also looking for a cell phone. Apparently, the girls had 2 cell phones and only one was found. Okay, so this here, let's get rid of this lady. How do I get rid of her? The search for a handgun may provide clues as to who murdered 2 women in Moab. Crystal and Kylen were found shot to death near their campsite. The murder happened in mid-August. And to date, authorities in Grand County have yet to find a suspect. If they can find the murder weapon, it might tie to the killer, said Jason Jensen, a private investigator hired by the Schulte family. It's the latest move by Sean Paul Schulte and Jensen, who are still waiting for the Grand County Sheriff's Office to offer information about the murders. Their evidence is on complete total lockdown, said Sean Paul Schulte, Kylen's father. They won't tell me anything at all about DNA fingerprints, gun ballistics, any of it. So, wow, they're super tight-lipped about it. But at the campsite, according to a search warrant, authorities found 4 bullet casings belonging to a 9mm gun. The family's private investigator is focusing on that gun. This is what we're after right now. Any 9mm that has some suspicious overtones, Jensen said. We want to know about that individual, about that transaction. Jensen learned of a police report in Cortez, Colorado. That's where a Moab man reported his 9mm along with 2 other weapons were stolen from his camper in late June. Remember that? Remember that? We saw pictures of that campsite and that dude had his gun stolen. Thank you, Steve. Like, duh, Steve. Thank you for the super chat, looking ass. So hang on. What kind of gun did Brian have at the thing? I need you guys to talk me through this. Brian had a 9mm. Kylen's memorial was in Billings, Montana. Kylen was born in Colorado. Brian was ruled out. Why do people keep thinking it was him? Because they're believing that it's covered up and it's a conspiracy. Okay, so let me pull this up. What the heck? What did Brian have? All right, Brian. Oh, I think it was a Sig Sauer or whatever, however you say that. Brian Laundrie gun. I don't think it was Brian Laundrie because there was that guy that they talked about. But what kind of gun was this? What kind of gun was that? The firearm found at the same park Laundrie had visited with family is leading some people to believe that the weapon could have been used to murder his fiance, but she was not shot. There's the gun that was found by those fishermen here in Florida at Fort DeSoto. Remember this? They pulled it out of the water. This was... It doesn't say. What kind of gun is that, you guys? I know nothing about guns, so... It doesn't say. That's a 38 special. All as I know is I have a little tiny handgun and I ain't afraid to use it. Just kidding. Brian had a 9mm registered in his name for sure. This is an old gun. Vail, Colorado. So she's lived in Colorado, Montana, and Utah. So she's from out west. Okay. And this guy had a Utah license, or a Utah driver's license, but he had Ohio plates on his vehicle, the one that they're talking about. So who knows why they released this? Maybe, I don't know. Like, is this guy still working at the Moonflower? Like, what's the dealio? Why are we getting no deets? Carrie, I don't either. So I guess we're both going to get laughed at, right? Okay, but what kind of weapon did he have at the reserve that was found with him? Oh my gosh, here's the dry bag. That was the wooden box. Oh, you guys probably can't see it. The dry bag. Hang on, here it is. Brian Laundrie's parents noticed a gun missing after he disappeared, but detail wasn't made public. Well, that's just effing wonderful. I'm sorry, but don't you think, with that being said, like, this just dawned on me. The parents knew they had a missing gun. Okay, let's talk about Ethan Crumbly. Okay. The parents didn't check their gun to see if it was gone. Even after knowing that Ethan was having all these issues and the school was concerned and they're calling them and making them come for meetings and whatnot. But the Laundrie parents, an antique 38 .357 revolver. Thank you. So the Laundrie parents knew their gun was missing and that Brian was, quote unquote, grieving and missing for 2 days. And these assholes didn't tell anybody. He could have been on a killing spree. We don't know if he was not in his right state of mind. Don't you think, hi, Jay Supra, don't you think that they should be responsible for that? I mean, even though, thank God, he didn't go on a killing spree. But what did we learn from the freaking Crumbly case? Nothing? Brian wasn't a minor. However, they did say he was not in a good place. God, someone just... Okay, yeah, he was not in a good place. Downtown Trina, Jay, on Brian's missing person report, it had that a gun was missing from the home. It was redacted. They just didn't tell the public. Oh. I see.
I think you've got a Ouija board down your pants. You're going to pull that out.
Nancy Grace.
Unleash the lawyers.
I agree, Carrie. I agree with you.
The devil is dancing tonight.
Hold on one second, guys. Who is it now? Who is it? Oh my gosh, I probably just put my butt in the camera again. Crystal was from Hot Springs, Arkansas. Her memorial was there. Wonder if the ladies were buried in the same place. Ethan Crumbly is a psycho. He had a written plan to stalk, rape, and torture a female classmate. We're going to do Crumbly tomorrow as well. Thursday, his parents are in court tomorrow.
He's evil in the flesh.
And we're going to recap what happened yesterday because they had a hearing yesterday to decide if he is going to stay at the jail or if he's going to go to the children's home or whatever. And I don't think it's going to be the children's home, but we're going to recap that before the Crumblies hearing tomorrow. I'm not sure what time their hearing is. I hope we have time. Thanks, Black Widow. I really haven't. I probably am straight out of bed. So thank you, Black Widow. The Black Widow.
If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
So here, if you look here, though, back then on November 29th, Stephen Bertolino said that he didn't know if authorities had recovered a weapon. So apparently on September 17th, when Brian was reported missing, the Laundries turned over their firearms. Chris and Roberta Laundrie voluntarily surrendered all guns in their home to law enforcement on September 17th. At that time, it was discovered that one handgun was not in its case. So you mean to tell me that they didn't look when they said their son was grieving, left the house, didn't come home?
Ashley, nobody said, yikes, he hasn't come home, Ashley.
Maybe they should have said, yikes, he hasn't come home, and checked their damn guns if they thought their son was suicidal. I mean, duh. But this Brian could have easily hurt other people. So according to Bertolino, the Laundries presented investigators with an empty case. Laundrie was designated the only person of interest in the death of his 22-year-old fiancée, Gabby, whose body was found in Wyoming in August. So, yeah, I don't know. Bertolino said that the decision was made to withhold information about the missing weapon from the public. He said that both law enforcement and myself made that particular decision. So now Bertolino gets to make a decision if the public is going to know. Hold on.
Okay.
More like investigators probably made that decision. So, yeah. So, I mean, if my son's distraught and I own a slew of guns, I am going to go check. And Miss Roberta, I said that back in that time too. I was like, why are they not warning us that this guy could be on the run? Like, they did not know, supposedly.
I don't know.
He doesn't know. He does not know.
They didn't know where he was, right? They hadn't found him yet. But they know a gun's missing, and they know that they don't know where he is. And we're getting crazy sightings up in the Appalachians. We're getting crazy sightings all over the country for this guy. But they know that there's a gun missing, and they didn't tell the public. So I live here. So I was like, yikes, Ashley.
Ashley, nobody said, yikes, he hasn't come home, Ashley.
But they're saying that Brian and Gabby were not involved in the murders in Moab. Katie, I have no idea. Why don't you share?
You know, the proof is in the pudding, if you will.
But I mean, it made me feel a little unsettled just because he was on the run. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Good point, Miss Roberta. Not to mention, even if he was dead, there was still a gun that anyone could have stumbled upon. Right, Dr. Melmo, people are out looking for him, but don't say he's armed and dangerous. I thought that was so weird from the beginning, and I thought, well, they must know that he's dead. They are not talking to anyone because they don't want to say shit that the others don't know. Brian told them everything, in my opinion. I'm not sure that Brian told them he killed Gabby. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
He doesn't know. He does not know.
Well, I think they bring Gabby into it because they were together. I don't think anyone's blaming Gabby. I think it's just protocol, or, it's just how they do things. Ashley O. That is my big sticking point, North Portfield. Yes, they did. They did. I mean, they didn't see Brian even leave, right? They thought it was
Roberta.
But then the FBI took over. So I don't know. I mean, I think all this stuff leaves us with more questions than answers. And the Moab murder is very, very unsettling. So I can't imagine what it's like for their friend Cindy, who knew them, her father, who's been out there since August looking for answers, her brother, Kylen's brother. I don't know if anybody from Crystal's family is out there. That I'm not sure about. But I do know that Kylen's father has been out there. Be kind. I no longer believe Brian was involved. Really? I think that, it's possible that it could be this person. But what would be their motive for releasing this information without an arrest? Miss Roberta, I love your name.
Roberta.
It's awesome. The other option could be Brian's dad killed Brian once he realized his son was a monster. Nah, I don't think so. It could have endangered Allie's for no reason because they knew he was already dead. But if they didn't find the body, they definitely could not have said for sure that he was dead and that the public was safe from an armed individual who left his dead girlfriend laying in Wyoming, and he's back in Florida camping, hanging out with his nephew, doing cookouts. Miss Roberta, I think I'll keep it for a while. Yeah, this is the best one.
I don't know.
He doesn't know. He does not know.
I mean, if that doesn't sum up this case for us, I don't know what does. So thank you, Bertolino, for that conclusion.
We got the sign.
I can't get it out of my mind that Brian is involved since day one. I know a lot of you feel that. I'm going to do a poll. Let's see how many of you are still on the Brian thing. I'm just curious. We don't need to argue. We don't need to, come at each other. We all have the right to think however we want, especially in cases where we have more questions than answers. So respect everybody's opinion. Okay, here you go. Do you think that Brian is ruled out completely and that the case is closed?
I don't know.
He doesn't know. He does not know.
So go ahead and place your vote now.
At least the lawyers.
The police messed up August 12th with Gabby, so their police work can't be trusted in ladies' murders. We only got 27 votes. There's 500 people in here. Y'all start getting your votes in.
Don't make me Somebody cut your mic in the first 3 minutes of the show, please.
Right. I mean, someone murdered these two girls. Let's go back to them. Someone murdered these two women. Who? Who did it? Because they felt that somebody was watching them, stalking them, creeping them out. And what are the odds? Like they said, these two had to walk past where this dude's campsite was in order to get to their own. How insane is that? Now, I know Kylen worked at the Moonflower, but I don't recall, did Crystal also work? I don't remember if she had a job. I know she didn't work at the Moonflower, but true Jedi forever. That is right, Jay. I think they made a judgment call, possibly based on the phone stopping shortly after he left the house. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, they know more than we do. They're the trained law enforcement officers. Like, I am not going to claim to know better than them or that I could do better than them. But Moab has completely been under the microscope after the Gabby thing. So Crystal was a manager at McDonald's. Oh, okay. McDonald's. That's right. I do recall that now. And nothing, we haven't heard anything about any weirdos at the McDonald's. We haven't heard anything about that. If I missed that, you guys can let me know. I don't. So we only heard about the creepy guy that worked at the Moonflower. Olive juice. Bernadette, you can rewind it because we're about wrapping up here. And I'm going to be back at 1 o'clock Eastern to bring you guys a all new, only in Florida episode. People don't just die with Brian around unless it was Brian. Brian effed Moab for Florida for 5 days, then returned to murder Gabby. Proof Brian, #1 suspect. Mimsy. Hi, Jay. Jay, I think you're amazing and bring the best stories. Thanks, Mims. She worked at McDonald's for 5 years. My blind dog could do better than Moab cops. Well, this is the Grand County Sheriff's Department that is leading this investigation, not the Moab police. Let's just clear that up because look, it says, where does it say? Yeah, right here. Right here. Now, I don't know if that makes a difference to you guys and your feelings, but the Moab police, I believe, were the ones that pulled over Brian and Gabby. And this is the Grand County Sheriff's Office, but I'm not 100% sure. This is what I think. Prepper 101. I think to get the job at the Moonflower, you have to be what?
Creepy.
Too strange of a coincidence how close these cases overlapped geographically, in my opinion. Brian feels involved. Go get him, Bill. Go get him. Protect. She's on guard. Protect. She's waiting. I just heard something outside. She's like, oh. Brian feels involved. I think his death was staged and Ellie is covering their incompetence. Creepy guy was just a stalker. I only knew of creepy guy camping right by them. Hi, all. Didn't the FBI say Brian's case is not closed yet? I don't think so. I think they did say it was closed, and that's why we got the final. Am I still live? What the heck just happened? I hope I'm not buffering, but Danette, I wonder if they talked to the sex offender who escaped from Kansas prison, was found camping in Utah. Yep, I'm back. I'm telling you, someone messed with my router. So I get randomly booted and then it comes back. This happened the last time I streamed as well. So I apologize. If anybody can send me a security team for my computer and my network, be greatly appreciated. I'm just kidding. Under Your Scars, thank you for your super chat. Sent to your other email, the podcast one. Thanks, Jay. Okay. Let me take a look. S the Best wants to know, how do they explain a right-handed guy offing himself on the left side of the head? Isn't that enough cause to not close the case? I haven't seen anything about a prisoner from Kansas. I did not see that. I don't know anything about that one. That's new to me. I don't know what email you're sending it to, but my email is jaysforjustice@gmail.com, and I have nothing. I'm sorry. I have nothing. So I don't know. Try to send it to the team email, I guess. Run your security progies. Yeah. Unfortunately, those don't always work. John Colt. That's the guy. Ann Lane, Gabby was going to leave Brian when Rose was to show up on 8/27. Brian would not let Gabby dump him. He was revengeful. Oh, yes. I wanted to show you guys that blue alert. Thank you for reminding me.
Roberta.
Hang on a second. I was going to show this in the very beginning, and I totally forgot. Okay, so this is a Florida blue alert. Oh, it's been canceled as of 29 minutes ago. I wonder if they found his ass. Hold on. What the? Hang on a second. Let me open. I got to send this to my computer. Give me 2 seconds and we're going to read this. Find out why this was canceled. Okay. All right, guys. Update. Florida blue alert. God, these ads are ridiculous. Canceled after deputy shot in Taylor County. So we're going to listen to this and see what they say here. Oops. Okay, why isn't it playing?
Breaking overnight, officials say everyone needs to be on alert in looking for this man, Gregory Midema. You might have been woken up late last night by this blue alert on your phone. It's issued when a law enforcement officer has been seriously hurt. An official in Taylor County, which is in the Panhandle, says a deputy there was shot and is in serious condition. It's still unclear what exactly happened. If you see Midema, call 911 and do not approach.
Shit. My God. Okay, that obviously wasn't the update. So a Florida blue alert that was issued late Tuesday night for a man last seen in Taylor County in Florida's Panhandle was canceled Wednesday before 10 a.m. A blue alert is issued when a law enforcement officer has been seriously hurt and the public's help is sought. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement tweeted at 9:34 that the alert for Gregory Midema, 33, had been canceled. No other details have been released. Officials said there will be a news conference at noon to provide an update on this case. You can stream it here live when it happens. So he was a sex offender. I'll show you. It's not clear what led up to the shooting, but the Florida Department of Law Enforcement said it was looking for Medema, last seen in Perry, Florida.
Creep town, dude.
FDLE said he was last seen in the area of the block of U.S. 19 South. Deer Run Road in Perry, wearing a dark-colored tank top. Officials say he may have been traveling in a gold 2000 Chrysler Sebring. The vehicle has a dark-colored convertible top. So when this came out, it says here, the narrative, let's read it. God, his face in that picture right there is like...
Creepy.
He looks... I don't know. Okay, so it says here, let me make this bigger because I can barely read this stuff. He is 33 years old, 5'8" and 145 pounds.
Don't break my door, you fucking bitch. Right?
A Florida blue alert has been issued for Gregory Ryan Medema, last seen in the area, He may be traveling in a 2000 gold Sebring. The vehicle has a dark colored convertible top. If located, do not approach, call 911. That is not where I saw that he's a sex offender. But the dude's a sex offender. Bella, my baby has allergies. Come here, honey. Come here. Oh. She's got medicine coming today. She's allergic to the grass outside. And it makes her bottoms of her paws itch and her mouth because she scratches with her paws. And I think like whatever she's allergic to gets on her mouth and she scratches at the side of her mouth, the side of her snout. According to the FDLE, it doesn't say anything about, dang. Well, I did read that he was a sex offender. But now I can't find that information. But at any rate, it's been canceled and there is a presser in an hour. Shoot. I wish that was not so far away, so we could watch it. But I reckon we can always watch it later and do recaps. So that's what we will do. Since Fox struck me for the last Florida stream that I did and the 1 minute and I think it's 1 minute and 9 second clip of a news clip. So I guess streaming it probably wouldn't be the best idea today. So we will do recaps. But at 1 o'clock Eastern, I will be back. Oh, Jayla, Gregory, Medema, and Sarasota. Okay, when we do the presser update, I will look up some stuff on this Gregory Medina, and then we will go over that as well. Thank you, Miss. My miss.
Roberta.
So 1 o'clock, we're going to do only in Florida, and then hopefully maybe we can do a recap. Shoot. Yeah, we can do a recap of all of this stuff. So join me back here at 1 p.m. I'm going to go get some stuff done. I got to take a shower. I got to eat. I got to do all these things. But meet me back here at 1 p.m. Eastern if you're available too. Would love to see you. And we will go over. Yes, I did order her some paw balm. It's all coming today. I just ordered it all last night. So Bella Rose, you're going to be all taken care of. Are you a happy girl? Are you a good girl? Yeah, poor baby. Georgia. Oh, Georgia. So if you guys don't know, that's from the movie Carrie, and that's why I downloaded that for Miss Carrie in chat. Okay, so I hope you guys are all staying warm today. I know it's chilly around in the northern parts of our country, but try to stay warm, and I'll see you back here at 1 o'clock. Jen Kaufman, thank you for subscribing. I don't know, I missed. I don't even know if these were popping up during that. Let me end the poll, and then we're going to end this live. We are going to conclude, and I will see you at 1 o'clock. That is actually 2 hours from now. 2 hours from now. 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So let's hope that some answers come through for Crystal and Kylen, and that their murders are solved and someone is brought to justice for what they did to them. Thank you, Lizzie.
Don't make me cut your mic in the first 3 minutes of the show, please.
All right, you guys, I'm out. I'll see you guys in a couple hours. Take care. You guys ready to dance it out? Dance it out?
I remember waiting for the school bus. Days for Justice was my first crush, and neither one of us had a clue. I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time, I ain't got time. I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn.
That's correct.
I don't give a damn.
Ashley, nobody said yikes, he had to come home, Ashley.
Let me have a little fun, would you please?
You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time.
Creep town, dude.